Hi, I'm Scotty. If you want to learn how to service and repair antique mechanical clocks, then subscribe to my channel. Welcome to Scotties Clock World. In today's video, we're going to continue putting the movement together. Specifically, we're going to set up the lifting lever to make sure that the 3 units on the lifting lever all work correctly and in unison. To make it easier to align the lift lever, the maintenance cam and also the warning wheel, I'm going to put a piece of masking tape over the count lever and wheel to hold it in place in one of the deep slots. That way it gives us terms of reference to look at the other parts that we now have to set up correctly. I'll just tighten that down so that the count lever doesn't lift. Now we can look inside the movement and have a look to see where the maintenance cam lift lever is sitting. It needs to sit in one of the 2 holes in the maintenance cam, but not down at the bottom of the hole. It needs to be slightly on the rise for the next time that the maintenance cam lever lifts. Now we'll put in the warning wheel. To do that, we'll have to undo these 2 nuts at the top of the pillars that are holding the plates apart. We'll loosen them off. Once we've done that, we can prise the plates apart slightly to give us better access to put the wheel in so that we don't snap any pivots off. This is a warning wheel. You can see the 2 pins on it there. Right, we're going to put that in between the plates now. We've loosened off the nuts, so we should be able to slide the wheel in easily enough. Turn the movement over, check to see which way would be best to put it in so you can see what we're doing. Okay, there we go, top down. Now what have we got? First pivot into the bush, pull the plates apart slightly so the second pivot can get in. Not quite aligned yet, take up a pair of tweezers. We'll align that pivot with the bush. Almost there, not quite. Click, there we go, your swing drop in then. Spin it round, yes, everything's all right. Check the rest of the train, spinning freely. Now we'll check the warning wheel to make sure that the lift lever is catching on one of those pins. You can see it is there, it's being arrested. Yeah, the pin has been arrested, but it's not quite exactly in position. So what we'll do is we'll take the warning wheel out of one of the pivots, turn it round 1 tooth and reinstall the pivot into the bush. That seems to be okay. We'll just check it once again with our tweezers. Make sure the pivot's into the bush. Yep, that looks pretty good. It's arrested. Tighten up that nut. Just check the going side train to make sure everything's right there at the same time. We don't damage any pivots. Now we're tightening up that nut. We'll put a nut on the other pillar in a moment. But first up, we've got to put the fly in. The fly sits right at the top of the strike side train. It's the last piece in the train above the warning wheel. And it goes in there. Lift the plate a tiny bit. Don't want to break a pivot. Carefully. As usual, pair of tweezers. Easiest way to set things up. If you're a little bit clumsy with your fingers, Okay, that looks alright. Almost in there. Not quite. Moved out tiny little bit. Replace it. There we go. You saw it drop in then. So that's looking alright now. We'll put a nut on that other pillar. Then tighten it down. Turn the movement over. And now we can start to look and see how we went setting up the lift lever. First I'll remove the piece of masking tape from the count lever. Quick check. Turn the count wheel a little bit to see if the lever lifts properly. It's lifting. Slowly counting there. Right, that's okay so far. Next step, we'll install the springs on the hammer and the lift lever. Turn the movement over. That's a hammer there. Look for our spring, that little bit of fine wire wrapped around it. There it is. Now that has to be pulled out and clipped over the plate. Once again, pair of tweezers, pull it out, clip it over. Push it down with my thumb to hold it there. And there we go. That's sufficient positive pressure on the hammer to keep it working properly. Alright, turn the movement over. Now for the lift lever spring. There it is. Seems to be a little bit fine for me. Looks like about 30 gauge. I normally use 24 gauge. But we'll try this and see. It was on there when the movement came in. So I'll clip that down around the corner. A bit tricky. Alright, that's got him. Corner of the plate. Bend it over with a pair of tweezers. And there it is. Now check and see if it's going to work, if there's sufficient pressure to hold it down. Nope, you'll notice that the count lever is not actually dropping down deeply enough. There's no way that is going to drop into that deep hole, and it didn't. Right. I'm pretty sure that that spring wire is too narrow, but I'll give it another chance. I'll pull it in a little bit tighter. I'll see if that'll pull the count lever down towards the count wheel. If not, I'll have to replace the wire. Tighten it down. Pull it in with a pair of tweezers to get it as tight as possible to see if it's going to work. Alright, now we'll test it. Lift the count lever, dropped in, lift the count lever once again. See the count wheel turning, the count lever's dropping into the slots one at a time. Now we need to see if it's going to drop into this one and stop the movement or not. And it did.